Hello friends, happy Tuesday, and today is the conclusion of our Choose Your Own Adventure planning series. So I'm so glad to have you here, and I've had such good feedback about. Today we're going to talk about how to plan your days and how to carry out all the stuff that we worked with. Because the first thing we did was we picked a calendar. This is my calendar, and then your planner. I prefer the Traveler's Notebook. I know some of you prefer a Happy Planner or an Erin Condren or whatever other methods of planners that there are, or the Silk and Sonder. But whatever it is, we are each choosing our own adventure through it. And then we went over our goals and our plans and our dreams so we can incorporate that into our life. Because if we're not proactive with things, then it's never going to really happen unless we get lucky, and that doesn't happen for everybody. So how do we make it all happen now? Daily planning. There are a lot of different ways to do daily planning, and I have the Silk and Sonder. It's a special edition one, but it's set up a lot like the monthly ones. Their weeks a vertical lineup like that. There are planners that are set up vertically that actually have numbers here for the times of days. So you could plan to the hour if you prefer. You could do a time block where you could do morning, mid-morning, lunch, mid-afternoon, afternoon, evening, where you time block your time. You could do just a list, make a list of things that you like to do. By the way, there's another way to do the weekly planning. If you want to plan on a calendar like this, would be a horizontal planning where they have the days set out horizontally instead. Remember I don't know if you remember the Richard Simmons meal, where you have so many things to do during the day and then you put them in pockets or to eat during the day. That was this that I made, and sometimes I use that. And I do have a video going over how I have these things to do, then I move it into what I'm doing until I'm finished. So if you like to physically move things. Another thing that would work this style would be a Kanban board, where it's basically sticky notes and you move them from place to place. Or you could do the Love Notes planning method, which is something that I came up with, and I will link that for you too. So there are so many options, so many choices that you can choose your own adventure. Everyone's going to be so different, and I would love to hear what your choices are. And there are other options too, so if you have some other way you like to do it, we'd love to hear that as well. Okay, the second one is pick your time of day that you're going to set up your day. I would suggest it to be before the day starts, unless you are very fortunate or you get up early and that works for you. But for most people, the day before is good, because before the day starts, you hit the ground running when you wake up the next morning. You can do it a week ahead of time. You could do a few days ahead of time. Maybe you just do a few days at a time, so you're not doing it every day. I like to do mine the night before, because my energy changes, sometimes the things that I need to do change. So then if I do more than a couple days in advance, I find it changes a lot. So then I'm doing a lot of whiteout or putting stickers over stuff. I would suggest that you would pick a time and be consistent. I know this one might be harder if you are like me and you have like the rebel tendency, but I would say to try it for a week or two. I mean, you can do anything for a week. Just say maybe 1 or 2 days a week, this is when I'm going to set up my days. And it really doesn't take that long. I know some of you are very busy with your schedules, but even if you could just sneak into the bathroom for 5 minutes and, lock the door, you could do it, hide your fun pens in there. It is important to be proactive in this, because if you don't do this, then the whole system kind of breaks down. You can practice it for a while and then find what works for you out of those things. Now, another thing to think about is this is the week setup of a spread, and you can certainly do it a week at a time like this. And this is the Silk and Sonder version. I know there's other planners with similar thoughts where you have a whole week set up. This is your meal plan, which you can use as a meal plan, or you could do a rough draft of what you need to do those days. Here's your goals. Here's how you want to feel, your to-dos, your habits. So just having something like this may be all you need to do. This doesn't need to take very long, and it's just getting your mind to schedule it in your planner, pick out a day, and stick to it for just at least a week. The next step to do to plan your day is to plan it, just to really do it. And so I'm going to do a little plan with me, show you how I'm going to set up my next day. I am recording this in advance because I got called in to substitute teach, so I have to do this earlier. So it is Friday. What I do is I take my calendar here and I cut out the date. Actually, I just cut this out first because the date is good. You can simply just write the calendar date on there. I just kind of got in the habit of cutting these out because I like the consistency of the writing like that. Saturday the 13th is the next day. One thing I'm tracking is I'm going to be on day 41 of my autoimmune diet. Still going well. Okay, so what I do to start off with is I start with a little love note to myself, and I will link the video called Love Notes Planning Method, which goes through the whole thing. I start with good morning, beloved. Nobody else is probably going to say that to me, so I'm going to say it to myself. Today is a beautiful day because I want to be positive and affirming. Enjoy your time out because we're going to go run errands. Time out. And now remember our goals. This is where I put it in every day. One of my goals is to write, and one of them is to get my taxes done. I have the dream and the goal from episode number 2 of this series. I'm not really working on it on the weekend, but if it was during the week, I would say something like, flourish in your tax and writing tasks. You've got this. This is just like a little love note and encouragement to me. I could write the same paragraph over and over so you don't have to come up with something new every day. But that is just how I like to start the day, as a little self-care to me, because nobody else is going to be that nice to me. Maybe my husband, but it's not every day. I mean, we've been married for 25 years, so I digress. All right, so then I will do the top things that I need to do. And before I showed you the top 3, sometimes that really hits me well. Lately, I've been doing things that I must do, and then I want to do. And then sometimes I will do something that at the same time. If you are a crafter, you might be familiar with the phrase at the same time. This would be like the load of laundry and dishes, because those are always throughout the day. So the must things, now how to set this up is I go to my calendar and I see we have to get some things for Valentine's dinner, and I have to return something to Natural Grocers. So I would say I need to make a grocery list, because that's what we're going to do. To Natural Grocers return. Valentine's dinner. How was your Valentine's Day anyways? I hope that went well for you. And the things that I want to do, lately I've been making gnomes. Oh, another thing I need to do is these are mostly errands on Saturday. It's a little bit different than a weekday. I need to go to the Dollar Tree to get a few things. So that is my Saturday, the basics of what has to get done. Now don't make it overwhelming. This actually here is more than I like to put on there, but these are all errands, so it's a little different than like cleaning the toilet and vacuuming the floor. Normally I don't put more than 3 in a category, because for me that gets overwhelming, but everyone's at their own pace. So that is how I set up my day. And just so you see how this is enacted and how it works out. This is today. Oh, got little crumbs. Those are my sweet potato chips. This is my little love note in the beginning, and that I did the night before. Must do, would like to do, and I use colored pencils to shade things in. And then at the same time, and there's a couple things I needed to research, the vaccine, and if we can do I want to look at getting a Sam's Club membership. We're waffling between Sam's and Costco. Anybody have any insight into which one do you like better? I would love to hear. Okay, and then here's as I went, this is where I write my notes today. In my diet, I tried to reintroduce eggs, and it didn't go well. So I just wrote that here. I mean, during the day, you can write little notes. If I have a phone call, I just write it in my planner, because otherwise I'm going to lose it. You've got all those little slips of paper that disappear. I don't know. It disappears off my desk. I don't know what happens to him. Maybe the dog eats them. Well, he does like paper. So that is how I set it up. And you see that it really only takes less than 5 minutes to set up your day, and even less if you are just doing it by the week. And you don't need to do a separate page for every day if you like, if you don't want to. You can have something set up like this, and you can do the same thing. Maybe your love note is in here, in your weekly setup, and then you have your daily setup, and that's where you put, I have to do this, I'd like to do this, or these are my top 3 things, top 5 things, this is my list of stuff, or this is my morning, lunch, evening, or afternoon, evening must-dos. Don't forget to do those. And maybe you only have 1 or 2 things, so you don't need a lot of space. So we're all going to be different here on the way we carry it out. But one thing that is really important is to reiterate, to go over again every day or every week what your dream and your goal is. So you keep that in mind. And also to put them into your schedule. And we did talk about scheduling that last time, but it's very important that if you don't put them in your schedule, they're probably not ever going to happen, because like me, I can sure fill up my time frittering it away doing other things. When you're done making your plan for the day, I would say keep this close. Don't put it away in your bag. When you wake up in the morning, you open it up and just read through your love note, and then the things that you'd like to do, because it helps you to reset for the day, and then go. You don't have to consult this again unless you need to. I kind of do make it a work in progress because I like to cross things off my list. But others of you maybe just need to look at it once in the morning, and then you don't see it again until maybe the evening or the next morning. So it can be as little or as much time in your planner as you want it to be. And the final step is, like we said in Episode 2, is to review, to assess this process. If you're finding that this vertical spread is not working for you, then maybe you want to try the horizontal. Or maybe you realize you don't need the week, you want to go to a page a day. So it's easy to switch out if you haven't invested in a big annual planner. You want to try things a month at a time or a week at a time. Like these Silk and Sounder planners, they are 1 month each. I think you can get quarterly planners from Erin Condren. Both of these things I have links below. If you have a disc-bound happy planner, they look something like this. This one is not the planner, but it is. You get the idea. You can switch pages in and out if you wanted to do weekly for a while, daily, monthly. It's easy to change the pages out in these things. So you can certainly, that's why I suggest trying something out before you put a big investment in, because we're hopeful, guys, that this pandemic might be over this year, so our schedules will probably change too. So what's going to work for you now in February and March may not work for you maybe in October. So I am a big proponent about try it for a little while, and if it doesn't work for you, then switch it out. I mean, give it a month, and if you find that you're not looking at your planner or you want more or less, and switch it around. It's so easy to do it with a modular system, or make your own up. I mean, take a blank piece of paper and write your lines. If you want to do the vertical or the horizontal, you can get free printables out there. I've seen a lot of people do printables, so you just staple your pages together and there's your planner, and it could just cost your paper and ink. You don't have to put a big investment to have a big impact on your life. So those are the steps in planning your day. It is really based on all of this, built on all of the other things we've done previously with our setting up and our goals and plans and carrying it out during the day. Just a few helpful things here that I wanted to show you is that, or to mention, if you're not really sure what kind of planner that you want to try, I will link above or below to the 3rd episode in the Planner Contentment series, where we go through a chart of what kind of planning system you may like based on your personality. So then you can kind of zero in on a system method. Another thing is that this Silk and Sounder has some exercises. You don't have to get this if you don't want to, but just some exercises to think about that will be helpful for you carrying out your goals and dreams. One is to think about your routines, and your morning and your evening routine, and that would be things like, what time do you wake up and what process you do things. Because it used to be for me, I would wake up and before I could think about it, I would start a load of laundry, and then let the chickens out of the coop, something like that. Or do you need to make sure you're packing lunches? So just think through the routines, and this does not have to be in your planner. Another thing to think about is yearly habits. So if you have those goals of, like me, writing a book, like something that takes lots of steps, my habit would be writing every day, and then I could color in each time I do it. It would actually give me a lot of information here of how much I'm doing, just to color in a little dot. And you can make your own charts up like this, or I think you might be able to get some printables online. Another thing is your perfect day. Think about what would be the perfect day, the flow, how you want to wake up. Like for me, I would love to wake up in a bright, beautiful, and clean place. It can be emotions in there. It can be how it looks, your senses beyond what you're doing during the day. And it's a good exercise. I enjoy doing that from time to time. Another thing to do is to have some kind of a perpetual birthday list, birthday and anniversary important dates that you want to remember, and have that in your planner or your calendar. Unless you transfer all of the dates over every year, then you wouldn't need something like that. But sometimes dates can get lost. I've had that happen. And then a cleaning schedule. This can be part of your planning during your day, or you can have it on the sidelines where you just automatically know it's Monday, I clean the bathroom, and Tuesday I vacuum the floor. But if you don't have a schedule in place, then here's where you work it all out, and you can add it to your task list for the day and whatever you need to do for the day. So those are 4 things that you can look at thinking about that will help you carry this out. By the way, I have discount codes for the Silken Cylinder, for the Happy Planner below for your first order. It doesn't cost you any more money. It gives you a discount, and they are affiliates, so I do get a little something for it. And if you're interested in that, those are available for you. And so I hope you enjoyed this conclusion to Choose Your Own Adventure planning method, and I hope that you have chosen your path and that it has a happy ending for you as well. So, thank you so much for watching, and have a joyful day. Goodbye. P.S. I have been trapped in a gnome making factory. Only kidding. But I haven't felt like I'm a gnome making factory. These are for my booth, and the great thing is I have energy to craft again. So I just wanted to show you a few of these guys. So there's like this guy. And most everything on these guys are from the Dollar Tree. We've got, this guy's my favorite. Look at, he's got Easter Bunny ears. He's an Easter Bunny gnome. Isn't he cute? So these are going to go in my craft booth. Except I posted a picture on Facebook about these guys, and instantly people wanted to buy them from me. So I might have a few sales already before I even put them in my shop booth. We have to do some girls. This is wool. Some of the noses are made out of wool. A lot of this is made out of socks. This is a sock hat, basically. And this is like recycled stuffed animal fur. Oh, a little bit of his beard came off. He's pretty simple. He doesn't even have arms, but he's still a gnome. So we've got a few Easter things. Easter is coming up April 5th, I believe. So, I mean, the month of March is when we should have our Easter stuff up, because it's going to come up quick, guys. Here's my other girl gnome. So her ears, okay, they look more like mouse ears, but she's got a big nose to go with it, so I suppose she's just a little more flamboyant. And then I've got this guy. Again, he looks like a mouse instead of... Maybe he'll just be an Easter mouse. I mean, is that a thing, an Easter mouse? Yeah. And he's got a wool beard. This is out of roving. I've got tons of roving because I'm not spinning. And just use what you got. I mean, it doesn't take that much. And then finally, this is a chunker. He kind of got a little bit big. I think he just overindulged probably for Valentine's Day. But, you know... That's what gnomes can do, because the fatter the gnomes, the cuter that they are, right? But he's heavy. So those are my latest craft project, and it's so much fun to be feeling good again and to be able to do this, besides the fact that I wasn't able to eat eggs and I had some reaction to it, but that's mild compared to what I used to live with. I just think they are so adorable, and so there they go. So happy Easter, guys, a little early, or happy Gnome. Nobody loves you, or there's no place like Gnome. All those fun Gnome sayings. So thank you so much for watching to the end so you could see these cute little guys. I just want to hug them. I hope you have a joyful day. Goodbye.